I can't tell you how many times am I going to hit the wrong button. Anyway, you're going to have a whole lot of videos. Okay, the quote. Unused creativity is not benign. It metastasizes. Big statement. And from all that I know and have experienced, true. Unused creativity is not benign. It metastasizes. It turns into rage, grief, sorrow, shame, etc. All emotional states that are not they're not under the category of ease. They're under the category of dis-ease, disease. And that's not to scare anybody. This is stuff that, you know, it's a good thing that we can't create immediately, because we might be creating things we don't want. There is a time buffer, and oftentimes that's many years, a lifetime. Let me show you this. Okay. In one of the classical models of the energetic wheels of the body, or the chakras, there are 7. Each have a rule, a law, like the law of gravity. Obey it or disobey it, you're going to have a different outcome. There are these different rules that are affecting each and every one of these. Now, this energetic wheel and the energy body is directly linked to the endocrine system, our glandular system. The one that governs this reproductive system requires us to create. This is where a female body creates life. We must create. And when we don't, there are things that result. This dear being decided to get back to her creative endeavors, and in 2 months' time, this system, after quite amount of time of not letting energy flow, of kind of keeping it in a holding pattern, it decided to flow again. And so now there's a lot to know about this, but to me, we've all got this voice inside of us, and like this person had an inner call, like, ooh, I want to create. But I'm so busy. I've got to attend to, I got to make money. I've got to learn this job, and I just can't make the time. We can make the time, and we must, because without that foundation of health, we don't have anything. You know what I mean? That voice is there for a reason. That inner intuitive voice. Another brief example. I was getting a call. I had a voice, my own inner voice, asking me to take care of some of my own foundational issues before I took off on this trip. But I kept pushing the envelope, and I'm like, I'll get to you. I've got to get out of here. I got to get in the van. I've got to get the show on the road. It's been delayed and pushed back. And I felt the effects of that. It hit me on the last full moon that we had, and it hit hard, and I felt the results of me ignoring and delaying that inner voice. It's like, who is it? Elizabeth Gilbert. I heard her once say, you cannot outfox the soul. This internal part of us. You can't. It's gonna win. It's the smart one. It's gonna win. And mine won, and I had some recovery work to do for myself to get back on track. And I knew it too, and I thought, oh, And I did get terribly bent out of shape, but I also had this knowing that, Erica, you know the consequences of ignoring that inner voice. And I'm not saying either that the moon did this. The phases of the moon, to me, I thought about this time, are like a clock. It's almost like when that full moon hit, it was like, time's up. I gave you all this time to listen to me. And then boom, time was up. And my nervous system felt the result big time. So that's the number one lesson that I've received lately, that I was reminded of. And I need reminders. I have a built-in forgetter, it seems, to listen to the call of that voice. And this wonderful being that I've told you this story about listened to this voice. She sought some support with me. Sometimes we need some external support simply to remind us to listen to that voice. And sometimes we can get confused with the mind, all the mind chatter, and go, wait, what is my inner voice saying? And we just need someone to help translate. And yeah, that's a big one, to listen to this voice. Anyhow, I'll end with this. So you don't need to know all of the rules of everything. I'm trying to give you because everybody's got the answers inside of them. You don't necessarily need somebody like me supporting or helping to point things out. Sometimes that can be helpful. I have needed help over the years, just because of my own blind spots or just my mind chatter getting me confused. But the answer is in here. Now, in the membership, I will touch upon these things. It's very helpful for me to know. Like, I couldn't do this work if I didn't myself understand these things. I wouldn't have been able to work one-on-one with this person and been very clear about that information and what that center of the body needs. Update on where that's at. It's pretty much done. How long have I been saying that? I had told somebody a few days ago, we are having to undo a lot of the work that was done, because that work would have left us dependent on this other group. And that, I don't want that. That didn't feel right. And I want to be able to learn and do all of this website stuff on my own. I'm just, pushing myself here, learning some new tools. And don't want to be dependent on another group that was difficult to get in touch with all of the time. And I want things to be on time. So we've undone a bunch of that, and we are getting down to some of the final details. I was hoping to have this available to you. It is available to a couple of people that signed up early, but we've just been chatting about making sure some of the details work, like if you can't remember your password, getting your lost password back, things like this. But we're getting down to the end with that. Finally. I'll leave it at that. You've got a bunch of videos to watch. I'm leaving all of the scratch marks in because I like that. It just feels like real life. And I work toward authenticity. I came from a really pristine sort of place when I was younger, and you kind of had to wear the right things, and your car had to be the right way, and it's a very manicured looking town, and that just didn't feel, there's nothing wrong with that, but it didn't feel right for me. So I like all of the scratch marks, and I'm hoping that kind of gives us all permission to just be ourselves. Cat fur on black pants and all. It's a good thing I got one of those tape rollers. Whoever invented that tape roller to get the fur off of black pants, you're a freaking genius. Freaking genius. Anyway, I digress. More soon. I got a lot of ideas. I've got some surprises I'm thinking about. And love you, mean it, miss you. See you soon.